Hey guys, how's it going? Well, it is motor week here in the shop. I started out some of those engines that were sitting in the corner and that my dad's been doing nothing but complaining about for the last 2 months. So I figured, well, let's get at her and create mass mayhem. Well, we've definitely done that. Definitely done that. One on the stand, ready to take apart. So far, for what I have found, we got some good stuff and we got some bad stuff. So far, we're not doing too bad here. I was a little disappointed with the one of the 4.3s, but one I took apart was absolutely perfect right here. It had a crack block, but everything internally was brand spanking new because it still has all the stampings on it. So I covered that engine up. This 5.7 here, found out what happened to it. It looks to me like somebody's dropped a washer or something down through the intake, because number one cylinder is all hammered to shit. And it's broke because I literally, this block is going to have to be punched probably 10 to 20 over, because I had to bust the sides of the piston off to get it out of the block. But that's what happened to that engine, and the reason why it was so pitted, because it looks to me like it was a little washer or something, because it just made a mess. But I got an 80s 350 in decent shape, good pistons, good internals. I got a good 140, good pistons, good internals. Not sure about this one yet or that one over there, so we're going to start tearing into them today to see what's going on. And this is the block that this 5.7 come out of, and the block is perfect. But I'm gonna have to send her into the machine shop and have her punched, which isn't a big deal because I got some brand new 20 over pistons upstairs. I'll have to get some things happening, but yeah, we're not doing too bad here, guys. I'm gonna be able to get some motors together here. I am looking for a 140 IO Merc block. I got perfect internals, but I need a block. So I will be in search for one of them. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna rip this one apart here. I'm about to start ripping into this one here and see what's ailing these. This engine, I'm not sure if it's stuck. And this one spins freely, so it's not too bad. But yeah, like, I'm not so much worried about internals more. Well, I am and I am, and I'm not. These blocks, these 350 small blocks, are actually getting very hard to find, especially the ones with the mechanical fuel pump. They're just not out there, and I kind of lucked out at the sale that I was at to get them. At this point in time, I didn't give a shit if they were blowing up. All I really wanted was the blocks. But so far, so good. I got some good stuff, and I have some bad stuff. And like I said, we should be able to... Well, these two are definitely potential engines, or they will be engines. Because if this block, if all the internals in this are done, then I am going to send the block out, have everything fixed up and cleaned up, and then I'm going to transplant that, because that's the same year of engine, 80s style, as you can tell by the old style heads. And I'll transplant that engine into that block, and like I said, I'm not too sure. That 4.3 there is going to go into that new block sitting over there in the corner, because it's the same year, one piece rear main, and this is a one piece rear main. That's a one piece rear main. That's a 2-piece rear main, and so is that. And then I still got all kinds of heads and stuff upstairs. The one 4.3 that I pulled apart yesterday, I was a little disappointed in it because I really couldn't see it until I actually tied into it. And the guy told me that the engine ran, but it had one hell of a knock. Well, I guess she did on number 1 piston. She had piled a bearing, and it actually ground so bad into the crank. I was thinking maybe that I could send it out and actually get it fixed, but then when I dial gauged it, it had pretty much did that crank in. Now, yeah, that crank could be fixed, but it ain't worth it, especially when I got 2 brand new cranks sitting upstairs for a 4.3 for a 1-piece rear main. But it had actually ground into the front journal on that thing almost 40,000. So, no, it's scrap yard. And when it comes to the block looked really good on the outside until I started tearing it apart, and then found, I don't know if, well, I'll go grab a light and I'll show you. These things have a funny habit, okay? Especially, guys, that if you don't winterize them properly, and somebody had JB welded this thing, and as soon as you see that, that puts a red flag to me up, so I wanted to go internally and had a look around. Now, where these things have a real bad habit of busting out, and a lot of people don't think, they said, oh, it's just busted on the outside, which somebody had actually tried to fix this engine right here. Somebody JB welded that, and I didn't see it until I pulled off the accessories off the engine. And it's a shame because the cylinders aren't that bad on it. There's a little bit of, well, it's not a scoring, it's just more of a dirt mark, but it's too bad, really. But anyways, where it broke on the inside, and you can see it, you can see where the rust here has ran down the block, and where it's broke is right here. You can see it right there and right there. You see where the rust has actually started to run down. So that candidate right there is garbage. I don't even bother with stuff like that. I've had guys tell me that they've welded them. Well, have at her, boys, and good luck to you. That's not the way I operate here. Because sure, I just find as soon as you start welding casts, and I have tried it in my younger years, and I'm getting too old to mess around with this shit. I've drilled the cracks and then tried to weld it with heat and everything else, and it just, when you pressure it up, it looks okay, but as soon as it starts to heat up, there's little wee stress cracks, and they start to bleed a little bit, and it just isn't worth it. So we just toss it away, and someday we'll get another candidate, hopefully. So yeah, other than that, we have some decent parts. Now there's a good crank in that one. The heads, I'm not sure. I'll have to send them out and get them Magnaflux, those 5.7 heads and those 4.3 heads. Piston wise, other than I'm going to have to get the rods resized and stuff like that. There's good pistons there. And somebody had already stole the, because it was a non-roller engine. So, and this one here is a roller engine, so this is a bit of a bonus because, like I said, that one there is a 2003, and this will come out of a 2001, which basically internals are pretty much the same thing. So, like I said, I got some good parts for potential, but we'll see about those heads. I'm not too concerned about them because you can see where the little washer had got up and started hammering on number 1 cylinder, and it's made a little bit of a mess, but I'm not too worried about that because I got like 5 or 6 sets of those heads upstairs. And that's the reason I got this stuff, because you know, how long do you hold on to this stuff? It sits and sits and sits, and very, very seldom that you'll end up having to change a set of marine heads. Unless they crack and they weren't winterized properly, but then worst case scenario, your block is done too, and you pretty much got to rebuild your engine. So we'll see how that goes. So anyways, guys, that's what I am up to. Just gotta make a plan here. I just basically want to get everything apart, make a plan, send what I have to out to the machine shop, and get some engines together. Because this engine here, the reason why I wanted it the old style, because I got a beautiful 1986 original Chris Craft Scorpion 210, and that thing is in absolute mint condition. This boat is just beautiful, and I got this in on a trade-in because I had another cruiser here that actually the guy wanted to transplant his engine and drive into that. So I said, yeah, that's not a problem. So we both gained out of it. But this is the Scorpion, and this thing is just immaculate, and I mean just immaculate shape. The interior, everything is perfect in this thing. Just awesome. Beautiful boat. So I'm going to transplant that 80s engine into that and get her on a trailer and get her sold for the spring. Somebody could have an awful lot of fun with a boat like that, because that is a good big water boat, or a cottage boat in the Muskokas. But I look at it this way, boys and girls, that it doesn't matter how old a boat is a boat. And I like the older boats for two reasons. They are built better than what this new shit is. That's a solid boat. But yeah, so that's what this candidate is. Hopefully the block is okay. Well, for what I can see, it's not too bad. But we will not know that until we get into it. But as long as I can harvest the block, I couldn't give a shit about the rest. But we might block out a good crank, good pistons, maybe a good set of heads. But this scares me a little bit. You sure can tell that engine sat for a while. But I just throw these intakes in the garbage because I got tons of them. But like I said, how much of this shit do you keep? But that's basically all I'm really after, is just basically the engine blocks. And like I said, I couldn't give a shit if I take it apart. Like, I found a little bit of rust in this one here, but I don't care because I'm going to get it punched anyways and put oversized pistons in. So, and then she's pretty much brand new set of rods and mains. And like I said, somebody could have an awful lot of fun with that thing out there. So anyways, guys, that's about all I'm doing. Like I said, I'm hoping this engine here is, because it looked fairly clean and there's no sign of rust down the heads of the intake. So we might luck out on this engine, I'm hoping. But it's stuck, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. But it's all about parts, and that's what I like. I'm about trying to save the customer money and do good workmanship with them, because basically when I send these engines out, once I get them done rebuilt, they're pretty much a rebuilt engine, and I give a warranty with everything. So, and I stand behind my work. And I haven't, in the 28 years that I've been doing this, I've had one engine fail. That's it. And that was a 4.3, and that was my own fault. But I just replaced it for the customer, no questions asked, done. There you go. Have a great day. Have a good summer. He was happy. I ended up short, but you know, it's about making that customer happy. It all comes a full circle. But anyways, that's what I'm doing, guys. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Give me one of these, and we'll talk to you again. Cheers.